Hello, 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 hello. Hi, how are you guys? I just want to do a double check if you can hear me before starting the class. So I see that there are some of you already actually in the class. So welcome to everyone. Today is the last class, but please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, guys. So I just want to do a double check as always. Remember that sometimes I forgot and for some reason the audio is not available, so I just want to be sure that you can hear me. So if you can hear me, please chat, send me a chat saying, hey Yeyo, I can hear you, I can listen to you. Yeah, it seems that probably you can hear me, but let me do a double check until I am completely sure. If you can hear me, I will start. Okay, so just a moment. Okay, guys, and yeah, perfect. So, thank you so much, Zenith or Grand Adventurer, for telling me that. And so now we can continue. So, guys, what's up? Oh, what happened? This Yui doesn't note. Okay, now it's okay. So, guys, how are you? Welcome to the streaming, the final streaming of this minicamp. Tomorrow or next week, we are not going to have more streaming. So, definitely today we are going to have the last class. I hope you enjoyed the last class. And how are you guys? I see that there are some of you already here. So let me send first the highs or greetings for all of you. Welcome, Claudia Labrador. Welcome, Bat Alone. Welcome, Tao and Eni. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry for that. Yeah, Vietnam names are so hard for me as I don't speak Vietnamese. But I think I pronounce it kind of right. Welcome Jenny and welcome Min, Kwai Li, welcome Huang, welcome Tao, welcome Mio, how are you? Welcome Leshoi, welcome Niwet, and Yai, welcome Basti Soriano. So Basti Soriano, now check your user role. Seems that now you are a moderator, as you mentioned before, and you asked me into the Discord channel. And also welcome Zenith, of course, Grand Adventurer to the streaming. Welcome Dao and Hi. And I think that's it. So guys, we're gonna start today. Let me switch the screen right here. We are going to start with the class number 5. This is going to be the actual final class, okay guys? So that means that starting tomorrow, starting in a few hours, you will be able to submit your map into the minicamp, okay? So, very important guys, on here you can see the prices as always. Remember that we have to create a Tycoon party game, okay? If you create just a Tycoon, I'm going to just do a shortlist for you. Also, if you create just a party game, okay? But it has to have bot or any of the topics for that, okay? So right now on the screen, you are seeing the different prices, guys. Once more, just a reminder, the first prize or the best are going to want $60. It's up to 5 people. And the next one is going to be the most creative. Remember, this is for innovation. And this is going to be up to 5 people too. This is going to be for $40 in real money, okay? The next one, the one that you're seeing right now, is the best learning one, and this is going to be up to 20 people if I'm not wrong. Yes, it's going to be for $30. And finally, in real money, we got the final one that is the best progress. This is the amateur section. Is going to be for those that are not developers at all or just developers level 1. This is up to 30 people. And of course, we have the avatars and the traffic for hours, okay? I know that you already know the prices, but the most important thing for me is going to be the dates. Oh, for some reason I'm floating in this space. It seems that the UI doesn't load, so let me switch. And let me see if yeah, now it works. So, in the screen, you are seeing right now, like the different dates Today we are in the class number 5, and starting tomorrow once more you will be able to submit your map. But very important guys, you have until the March or tutorial March, sorry, I just spell it in like kind of Spanglish, but you have until the 13th of March to be able to submit your map, okay? Very important guys, try to submit your map at least one day before. Remember that at the same day we can have a lot of problems, okay? What happened and what could happen in here is that probably your map it's perfect, it's okay, but you could have some mistakes that you will have time enough to fix. Or another big problem is that with this, probably I don't know, in your area could be a outage and probably you don't have internet, you won't have internet on that time. So just anyway, just try to prevent that, okay? So try to submit always your map one day before, just in case something happens in your area or to your map, so you will have enough time to fix this, okay? So please try to submit your map at max on the 12th, okay? On the 12th of March. That means on this date, on the next Saturday, try to submit your map at max, okay? Very important. Guys, if you contact me saying something like, oh, I wasn't able to submit my map because I lose the final date, I'm going to tell you guys, sorry, truly sorry, but I cannot help you, okay? So very important, guys, submit your map before the 12th, okay? Very important, hike spoilers. Once more, I switched to full screen for this. Guys, please be sure that your map is going to be submitted before the 12th of March, okay? If you're telling me something like, Yeyo, I submit my map on the right timing, I'm going to be very serious. I'm going to take my glasses and say, yo, okay, there is nothing I can do, guys. All right, so that is something that you have to be careful about this session, okay? Now, next, something very important also. And here you can have also the minicamp link, okay, guys? So please go ahead and access to the minicamp English. If something happens, if you have problems, anything, you will be able to contact me directly, so you will be able to talk with me. I just place it into the chat, so just go ahead and take the chat, just give it a quick check on it, and you will be able to have all the information by first hand, okay? All right, seems that you have to leave, so bye-bye, have an excellent day. Okay, and Basti Soriano says it's the last week. Yes, it's the last week, it's the final week, guys, so very important. You have to start finishing your map, okay? Also for around here, all right. So another important thing, guys, as always, we are going to have different prices for this. Okay, guys, we are going to have like different rewards during the class, but very important, guys, we change the dynamic and it seems to work because people that really want to check the class, they just wanted the code, will be able to access on time and they are not going to be like spamming that much. So remember, guys, if you want to get the code, get on this time at 7:30. We are going to release the first one. At 8 we are going to release the second one, and finally 8:30 we are going to give the last one. Okay, so remember, guys, once more, if you want the code, if you just want to check the class by the code, go ahead and you can just do whatever you want and come back at that time. I will give the code. Okay, very important, guys, for this class we are going to learn this. Unfortunately, I was promised to you to teach you how to transform 3D models into miniatures inside the game, but there is a problem, and the website that actually has the scripts to do this is not working very fine. It's not working anymore since the last update, so I won't be able to teach you that. As soon as that gets fixed, I will be able to submit a tutorial with it, okay? Because right now it's not going to work. Even I get to stop some projects like Pokemon, my Pokemon project, because I weren't able to transform those models into a 3D model, from a 3D model to a miniature, okay? So the problem with that is that I won't be able to do it, so I prefer not to take that much long using miniatures manually to create my models. So sorry for that, guys, but today we are going to learn how to create the reaction bar system, how to add reactions to it, how to animate the awesome method. So you're gonna have that animated, and you're going to learn the basics to animate any kind of UI. And finally, I'm going to teach you how to submit your maps into Minicamp. And most important, guys, also you can have, and you will have a time to ask me any questions, just in case you have questions, just in case there are some questions about this session. So just be pending around that. I think the session about questions is going to be at 8:30, okay? Now, let's start with the reaction bar, guys. I think this is going to be very important because we already finished all our previous ideas. So we're gonna start and we're gonna move directly to it. So, our reaction bar is going to be composed by two things. First, we are going to have the awesome method. You can call it whatever you want. The important thing is that it's a bar that you can fill or you can just remove. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to do that. So after that, you will be able to create also in the UI live bars or anything similar, okay? And apart from that, we have a part that is the reactions, okay? It's something that the players can click on, and this is going to perform different things in the game. First, it's going to give extra points to the players, or is going to reduce the points for the player. Also, with this, you will be able to increase or decrease the time for activity, okay? So we are going to learn to do both of them. All right, so let me just change the full screen here and let me open the map. I'm going to first show you how it's composed once more, but we already do a full class about that on the previous minicamp, so those, not minicamp, sorry, in the previous classes. So go ahead and check those classes. I explain in detail how you can compose that. But what we have to do right now is that we need to create a new UI, okay? This new UI needs to be apart from the activity chooser. So you need to create a new UI and it needs to be completely apart, okay, guys? Why it needs to be completely apart, what is the reason why you need to have it completely separated is because this is going to be something that always appears on the screen. And since the activity chooser is not going to be like that, it's only going to appear when you have to choose the activity, okay? So you have to create an UI that is going to be called a reaction bar, okay? That's very important. You are going to call it reaction bar, okay? All right, so if you open the reaction bar, we are going to have some elements, okay? So we are going to have the awesome mirror right here in the top. This is going to be fillable. That means that when you get a score, this is going to be filled, or you can reduce the amount. Always is going to be in the middle, okay? And also you have some reactions up to the normal menu, up to the bottom of the screen, just before the end, okay? That means that it's always going to be near or up to the inventory, so it's going to be an easy access, okay? You cannot click on this one, but you will be able to click on the reactions, okay? Important things, the reactions are going to have a timeout, so the players cannot click all the time, just when it's needed, okay? And the most important part that we are going to start is with the awesome matter, okay? So let me switch here before and let me explain how you can compose a bar, okay? For creating a bar like this, you will have to use 3 different shapes for the live bar. And if you want to do an icon like this, just do 2 icons, okay? So let me explain, and you can see here that also we have the same. Let me show here. So we have the logo, we have the MP bar, we have the fill bar, we have the frame, and the base that is going to be kind of the text that is going to back and the text for it, okay? So it's the same, but I'm going to explain in PowerPoint, so it's going to be easier for me to move and everything, okay? So the first shape that you need is a shape that is bigger than the others two. And what it's going to work for is going to be the outline, okay? It's going to be the background, so be sure that it's going to be not that much big. It's going to be a little bit more bigger than the others, okay? Then for creating this, we need to create an MP bar, okay? So you're gonna see the MP bar right here in my end. Sorry, it's this one. And the MP bar, it's going to work if you use a color that looks empty like this. And what you are going to do is to place the MP bar just above the normal bar, okay? So if you look like this, you are going to see that it's going to create a bar, okay? With a border. All right, so that's going to be the base. Next, we are going to have a fill bar. The fill bar is which actually gonna represent what is going to be filled on this one, okay? So what you have to do is to place the fill bar above everything, okay? So you're gonna see that is going to cover everything, all right? So if you want to add also this frame, what you have to do is just to create a base, and over that you have to create an icon, and it's going to look like this, okay? Now, very important, if you see, to make it look like it's just one element, what you can do is just to play with the depth. Let me show you here, okay? If you place it like this, it's going to look more amazing, more composed, okay? But let me explain how it works. What we're gonna do is that we are going to modify by triggers the part that is filled, okay? This part that is on color, we're gonna modify that is going to be this one, okay? So whenever the bar is having 100% of life, is going to be at the full, but you can reduce that, okay? Let me place it again in position. And as you see, when I reduce it, when I change the size for this, it's going to look like if the bar is filling, or the bar is going to get not fill, okay? So that's how it works, basically, okay? That's how a bar looks. And we are going to make this by triggers, of course, in the UI, okay? So that's the important thing. We're gonna need two variables. The first one is the full amount of this, and the second one is the amount of this, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to do that, okay? But remember, you need to have those components. Right here is just the same components, but with names, okay? Notice that this doesn't have any kind of button. This doesn't kind of have of any interaction. We are going to manage everything by triggers, okay? So now let's start with it, okay? Now, for this, what we gonna have to do is just to create an animation, okay? Now, very important here, guys, on reactions, we are going to have something similar. I already showed this, so I'm not going to give depth, but what we are going to do is just the same that we made for the activity menu, but this time for this one, we are going to have to create different reactions, okay? Remember that we also already in the first class defined how many reactions we are going to add. Remember that we have this table, we have loves, we have likes, we have dislikes, we have boo, and we have more and less, okay? Notice also that on the normal bar, you won't be able to see all the reactions, okay? Because those one, the one about the 60 seconds is hidden, okay? So it's this one too, okay? So if you want to hide some part from your UE, you can do it just by clicking here and clicking in hide, okay? But if you see, it's the same amount of reactions. We have 6 reactions, and it's the same amount we got here, okay, in our table, okay? So those are going to be the basics, and these two, the ones that you see that I put just next to it, are going to be just for the host, for who creates the room. So that's why I'm hiding the, okay? So remember to hide both of them when you actually are in the basic interface. So remember, you are going to create a full set of interactions, and then you are going to hide the two that are going to be managed for the host of the room. Just clicking on it and hide. Notice also that the buttons are in the top, all right? So you'll see the interaction is here, like the background, the button, or sorry, oh, I get confused. All right, so the background, and that is going to be this like translucent circle. It's going to be in the background. In front of it, you are going to see like the icon, and just in the top of everything, you're gonna have the button. It's also a completely transparent button with the trick I showed you before. And notice that it's bigger than the interaction, okay? Because as you see, as this is going to be small, we're gonna give enough space for the player to click on, okay? But yeah, you need only to create that when you have all of this, when you have your awesome meter and you have your reaction panel here, or your reactions, we're gonna start creating the triggers, okay? So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna start by setting up the basic thing that is going to be the reaction bar triggers, okay? So for this, I need you to open the triggers inside that UE. Remember that this is going to be different. and we gonna start creating an interaction right here, okay? We're gonna move to interaction because that's where we're gonna start. Then we're gonna learn to do the reactions, and finally we're gonna learn how to do the animations. So first we're gonna move to interactions, okay? We're gonna have 3 different folders, okay? So the folder that is being called animation is where you're gonna show or hide or animate the awesome method. Also, you're gonna learn how to react or how to animate the reaction bar. In reactions, of course, you are going to add the reactions, and you're gonna have to create an event, okay? So I know Miniware doesn't have that much events, but we're gonna create an event. The event is going to be called event react, and we're gonna use above to create that event. We are going to create our own custom event, okay? And we're gonna send the feedback for the player, and finally all these reactions are going to work with interaction, which actually is going to execute and move the text and give the punctuation, okay? So we're gonna have to create also 2 things before start. We're gonna have to create a buff that is going to be event react, okay? Remember that you can use this technique to create any kind of event, of custom event that you can set whenever you want. So this is going to be like an artificial event, okay? So first thing, we're gonna create that trigger, that script, okay? Sorry, that buff. Today I'm a little bit loose. I need more coffee to wake up completely. Oh, okay. I almost made a completely disaster on my keyboard. Okay, so now I have my coffee at it, and I will be able to make it better, okay? So I need you to go to plugins, and in plugins we're gonna add a new status, okay? If you see this status, it's going to be a completely modified status, okay? So you're gonna have to do the next thing. You're gonna have to add here a new one, but you have to click on edit, okay? You don't have to create it from zero, you have to edit it. And let me do a quick check to see which one is it, because I don't remember that. Okay, I didn't remember which one is it, so I'm going to use this to know very quickly. Okay, it seems that it's a neutral one, or no, react, trampoline, fly, water, debuff. Okay, I didn't see it. That's strange. Okay, yeah. It seems that it's going to be dicey number 2, okay? So you can modify dicey number 2. It's going to be easier for you. So just remember, we're gonna have to click here. We're gonna go to status. You're going to add 1 from 0. You're gonna scroll down. You're gonna add. You're gonna click edit, and then you move to slow down number 2. That is this one, or is, I'm not sure. No, it's the one that is dicey, okay? So you're gonna move to neutral effect, and in the middle, and just the second one, you're gonna edit that one, okay? The information that you have to place on that one is the next one. The name, you need to change it, so you're gonna name it like this, okay? Actually, you don't need to put it exactly like I do, but you just put it event.react. Remember that you can use this technique for other things. We're gonna use it for interact with the menu to make it easier, okay? You can place whatever, but don't put any kind of special effect or any kind of sound effect, okay? This is very important, don't put it. Now for the effect, you have to delete everything, and you can add this one. Okay, this one you can find it right here in Vision Brightness. And what you're gonna do is to change it to +1. So with this, actually the game is not going to do anything. It's not going to be noticeable, but you're gonna be sure that this is going to work fine, okay? On attribute, be sure that you put it as limited and as a positive status, and those needs to be completely deactivated, okay? As you see, there is no triggers, no scripts. Once you add it, we're gonna move back to the UE editor, okay? So we're gonna move back to the reaction bar. Remember this one, the activity chooser, and this one is a different UE, so be careful with that, okay? Now, if you mess up, remember that you can always save this as a template here. Oh, okay, what I did, come on, no, what happened? Okay, So remember, you always can save this as a template, so don't worry for that, okay? Remember that just to save a template, if in case you mess up, you need only to click on here and you have this option, and with that you can export to different one, okay? But now, let's move it now. Let's do it, okay? And we're gonna move to triggers, guys. And once we gonna be on triggers, and let me read you in the comments. Yeah, there is not like goods or any kind of comment extra, so it's okay. We gonna move to the part that is going to be called interactions, okay? So remember, we're gonna create a new group. The group name is going to be interactions, okay? And in here, we're gonna start creating our triggers. Let me explain how it's going to work. We have a trigger or 3 triggers, okay? You can put as much as you want it, but the basics are going to be 3. The first one is that your button, it's gonna fail, okay? So you have to put one for each reason, okay? So as an example, in this case, it's going to fail because there is no player in the area, okay? Now, if in this one, it's going to fail because you are trying to react to the host, okay? And then we're gonna add a third one that is going to be okay at the end, and that means that everything is going to work fine because we meet all the conditions, okay? Then we have button enable that is going to actually activate the functions for the player, so that means that if the player reacts one time, it's going to be disabled, and after some seconds it's going to be re-enabled, okay? And finally we got disable, that is almost the same, okay? That is going to actually disable the interactions for the players, so the players are not going to be able like spam that, okay? All right, so before continuing, we have 7:30 a.m, so I'm gonna give you the first code, okay? So be penning into the chat and we gonna start with this, okay? So go ahead and go to your mini word and copy and paste this code, okay? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to copy, okay? In the meanwhile, if you have questions, you can ask me. I will be able to answer any of your questions, okay? And remember, it's important to ask questions, guys, because if you don't ask me questions, probably I won't be able to resolve your maps, okay? So you can have a lot of things. Yeah, I already turned off the alarm. Okay. All right, guys, be sure that you copy this code. That is going to be very important. Remember, that is the first reward for this lesson, okay? If I'm not wrong, this is going to give you some mini beans. Also, is going to give you some extra things that will be very helpful for you. All right, guys. So we have 1 minute after. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes more. I think 5 minutes is too much, but with 3 minutes, we are going to have enough time, okay? And I'm going to be around here, so in case you want to ask me any questions, guys, take the time to answer it. I will be able to answer any of your questions, okay? So remember, just ask whatever you want. I will be here to resolve your questions, just in case you need to ask me something, okay? Sorry, guys. All right, so no questions up to the moment. Not a problem. Basti Soriano, why are you doing that? I think I'm going to remove the moderator from you because you are doing like random things like this one. Why did you delete the message from these pliers? So I think I'm going to remove the moderator permissions for you because, well, that's not the way I expected. All right. So sorry for that, and don't worry, it's okay for me, and yeah, don't worry for that. You don't have to say me thanks because it's something that is just for you guys, okay? Now let's move back to the class. We're gonna continue with this. And we were in this part, okay? We were dealing our UI. So we're gonna start to create actually the functions, okay? So how we gonna make this? We gonna access here and we gonna create our first trigger, okay? So the first trigger, it's going to be named as disable, okay? So remember, you're gonna put this name, BTN disable, okay? So BTN means for any kind of game, a button, okay? So whenever you are editing any kind of game, not just Miniverse, if you learn to make your own games, or you're gonna see this like code, and with that you know that it's a button always, okay? So we're gonna start with button disable, okay? And now we're gonna change that, okay? So we're gonna have created this, and right after that, guys, you kind of funny, Basi Soriano, but that's not a reason why you can actually change like players' information and hide the comments. Remember that it's just a smile. I mean, moderation means to avoid bad words or things like that. But for those things, I think it's to hide the comment is too much, Basi. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in Discord, so don't worry for that. But yeah, I think you overreacted to it. Okay. Now, let's continue, and we're gonna add the first part that is gonna be the button disable, okay? So first, let's go to events. In event, we are going to just scroll down here, and we're gonna change that. You are going to see here a lot of events, but there is going to be one that says lose a specific status event, okay? Not that one. We are going to use the one that says specific, okay? And we are going to learn that right now. We are going to use that one. What you're gonna do is that you're gonna place it, okay? When you place it, you're gonna edit it. And very important, guys, here you have to select which buff we are going to use. So just open the frame, just go ahead and click on template library. And then here you're gonna move to neutral effect. And remember, we edit that, so you have to search for this event, the one. Sorry guys, 1 second, I need to move my microphone. Okay, to move the one that says event react, okay guys? So we're gonna use that one, of course, easy lemon squeezy on here. So just click on it, click confirm, and you're gonna have something like this, okay? Now we're gonna add the actions, guys, okay? So remember, both button disable, it's going to just turn off the interactions for that player. So how do you do that, okay? We're gonna change the color of the interactions to a color that looks disabled, okay? So let me show you a real example very quick just to show you where I'm talking about, okay? Of course, probably I'm not going to be able to use this like fully because, well, there is no player to react. When you press, you can hear the sound, you can hear everything, and this color, the color that you use on the background, is going to change, okay? So the players will know that they cannot use it because it's going to be grayed out, okay? So how do you do that? How did you make this change, okay? So what you have to do on here is that you're gonna have to use a color code, okay? So we're gonna add an action. In the action, it's going to be change the color, okay? So if you see here, we have that event. It's going to be change component color. So it's this one, change component color. And what you're gonna do is that you're gonna have something like this, okay? Probably it's the first time that we're gonna use this. So we need to select a player. Of course, it's going to be the player that receives the buff. Remember that is going to be our event. Modify the color of, and on here we need to choose which part of the UE we're gonna change, okay? So on template library, you will be able to access, and remember that in love, we have different parts. So in my end, love is gonna be the background, is going to be the picture on the font. The picture 2 is going to be the icon, that means the face is smiling, and button is going to be the actual button, okay? So we're gonna change the color of the background in the circle, okay? So if you have a different one, you can just try to change that one, okay? So we're gonna change that one, okay? In the current edit interface. And very important here, we need to pick up the color, okay? Input, we gonna have template library here, okay? That you can choose any color, or if you want it, you also have this, okay? So probably this is going to be confusing, so I'm going to teach you how you can get any color, okay? Not just the colors that you have in template, you also can select any color here. So what you have to do is very easily, guys. You need to just go ahead and open any browser, okay? As an example, I have this one, and you're gonna just type here, and you're gonna put RGB color, okay? And on this, you are going to have a lot of websites that you can use to pick up your colors, okay? So as an example, you can use this one, and this one is my favorite, it's the easiest one, and you can change whatever color you imagine that exists. You can just copy and paste it. And the number that you need to copy is this one, okay? You're gonna see this on this side. Let me increase the size so you will be able to see it better. But at this size, you're gonna see a color like this, a color code. You see that every time I move it, or every time I move this, is going to change. So that's the color you're gonna copy here as an example. If I copy this, okay, we're gonna copy this, and I paste it on there, we're gonna see which color is it, okay? And as you see, it's a green color, okay? So what you see here is that this is going to be a green color, and all the thing that you need to do to copy is just copy this formula, okay? The formula is the next one. You put on here, first, before to placing the color, you just place a 0 and an X, okay? That's always gonna be there, and then after that you're gonna put the color, okay? So this is only going to work for you is because in normal triggers it's going to be something like this, right? So if you see it's the same, the only thing that you need to replace is this one by the X and the 0, okay? Something like this, and that is going to work, okay? And we're gonna do this for every one of the reactions. We're gonna change the color, okay? So now we're gonna just copy and paste, okay? If you have 6 reactions, use it for the 6 reactions. So as an example, copy and paste, and when you do that like this, you're gonna change now just this part, okay? So in this part, as an example, I'm going to choose a different one. I already choose this one that was love on here, on my reaction panel. Okay, now I'm going to choose the one that says like, okay? That is going to be the green circle behind all the reaction, okay? So I'm going to choose that one. And as you see, I'm just doing the same for every reaction, okay? So do the same for every reaction. You see here that I'm using a different color for the negative reactions, okay? So if I copy this color here, let me see, it's like kind of a purple one or an orange one, sorry, a red one or a purple one, yeah, a violet one. So that's the color I'm using for the background, okay? So once you do that, we're gonna create a new trigger, okay? So remember, you just need to change the color for every one of your reactions. Now we are gonna add a new trigger, and the trigger name, we're gonna change it. Okay, for the new one, we're gonna call it BTN enable, okay? BTN enable, it's going to do different things, okay? It's going to do just the same almost, but it's going to have a different conditions. Also, if you want it, just do the next thing. Copy and paste this trigger, the one that we created before. And for this one, you're gonna change the name and you're gonna change it to button enable, okay? Because it's going to use the same things, it's going to use the same interface, but it's going to use a different color here, okay? So what you're gonna do here is that you're gonna just use the same, almost the same things, okay? So once you copy, you're gonna delete the event, the first one, and we're gonna change it, okay? So the previous one, on this one, was random player loses event react, okay? Now we gonna put random player obtain status effect, okay? That means that we gonna get event. Actually, that's it. Okay, so on this one we're gonna have to add the new one. You're gonna just go to pliers, and on here you're not gonna use anymore this one. You're gonna search for the one that says player gets an effect. Okay, and sometimes I get loose because now there is too much events, but it's supposed to be around this area. Let me search, cancel collision, put the armor, non-press, obtain a status effect. Okay, we're gonna use this one. All right, and this one we need to use a condition. Okay, so the condition is going to be player, and when the player has a specific status. Okay, so it's going to be this one, determine player status. All right, and now that we got this one, we're gonna see something like this. So we need to do the same. We need to choose on here which actually status effect. So just go to template library, you go to neutral, and you're gonna select again the one that we created before, that is being called event react. Okay, and that's it. Now we're gonna change this. Okay, so remember on this we give the colors. Now we're gonna give a white color for it. Okay, so how do you gonna do this? Okay, so what you're gonna do is, as you see, it's the same. You're only gonna change the final color. Okay, so you're gonna move to the end, and we're gonna put this code. Okay, as you see, it's the same. With the difference is that we use 6 zeros. Okay, and we're gonna do the same for all of them. Okay, all right, so moving back to the website that we used before, you're gonna see that this is a white color or a black color, and it's going to be the black color. Okay, so it's going to black out all the UE. Okay, so we're gonna do this for all the four, or the amount of conditions you have. So remember, here we have custom color for each one. On this one we're gonna have a 0 for each one. And also notice this, guys, if I go here and I edit any of them like this, you're gonna see the color I'm using is the same color right here. Okay, so for this one I use 00F00 because that's going to be the green color that I'm using in the background. Or for this one, let me go here also and use this one, edit this one, that is going to be a negative reaction, is the same color that we use for the other one, FF0CF. Okay, so yeah, you see FF00CF, and for the other, the positive one, 00FF00. Okay, so what you see is that this is going to grade out all the UE, and this is going to turn it back into the colors. Okay, now with this, it's going to auto animate it. We don't have to do that much. The UI is going to do everything by itself. Now we're gonna create this one. Okay, what is going to do this one, guys? All right, and this is very important. What we're gonna do now is that in this one, the BTN, okay, the one that we are turning on, okay, I'm being good enough, so I'm going to move this a little bit upward. So what it's going to do that is going to actually handle everything. Okay, it's going to handle the timing. It's going to tell the player, hey, you cannot react, or yes, you can react, and it's going to turn off automatically everything, so the player cannot spam that much that. Okay, so we're gonna move back to this, and we're gonna create from 0 this trigger. Okay, the name of the trigger is BTNCD OK. Okay, very important, guys. We have the same name for those three, but this one is the one that says OK. Okay, OK means in English, right? You got it. It's correct. So that is gonna means that. Okay, so what we gonna do on here? We gonna add a new action or new event, and that event is going to be, once more, obtain status effect. Okay, so we're gonna use the same one. Now we're gonna go to enable, and you're just gonna go ahead and copy here, and you're gonna paste the first condition, that is going to be this one on here. It's the same condition, but now we're gonna have to add more conditions. We're gonna have 2 different conditions. Okay, so the first condition that we're gonna add is be sure that the player is not actually, and be very big warnings here, is not the same player, so you cannot react yourself. Okay, so how we gonna do that? We're gonna add a new action. Okay, what happened here? And we're gonna go to players, and we're gonna select this one, determine individual player. So this is going to let us check if that player is or not is the same player. Okay, And once we add it, we're gonna have something like this. On the first one, we need to compare two different players. So we're gonna add here, okay? We're gonna go to function library and we're gonna go to players private variable, okay? So you're gonna select that one. And when you select players private variable, you're gonna have something like this. You have to add a new action, okay? So in here, just select players in trigger event, and we're gonna change this. On here you don't have a variable, so you're gonna add it, okay? So the new variable is going to be named as btn target, okay? So always that we react, we are going to set up this variable, and it's the player that we are reacting for, okay? So select btn target, all right? And once you have btn target, in the middle, you need to be sure that here it says no, okay? That's very important. And at the end, we're gonna choose players on trigger events. What we're gonna do or tell the game is the player that we are reacting is not ourselves, okay? That's the first one, and the second one is optional. If you don't want the players to react to the host, to the one who creates the room, what you have to do is just click on here, okay? You're gonna have to scroll down to players and determine individual player 2. And it's just the same. You're gonna add here function library. You're gonna select players private variable, player, and just put the same. You're gonna select players in trigger event, button target. On here, you do the same. So you put the no, but very important on here, you're gonna go to function library and you're gonna use host, okay? Host is the one to create the room. So as you see, we have two conditions extra for this one. Apart from the normal one, that means that it's only going to work if the player is not the host and is not the same player, okay? So, what is going to happen with this? First, we're gonna run a CD, okay? So remember on here, I told you that we need to have a blinking timer or something like that. We're gonna use those. So, we're gonna have also one that says react, okay? All right, so, give me 1 second here. So for those that are coming, like Sensky, and asking for the code, remember just to come back here to 8 p.m. So avoid to start spamming the codes, okay? So remember guys, if you want the code, come back to that time, okay? All right, so we're gonna hide this user on this channel as this user only once. And once more, for those that are just coming, and I want not to repeat this, if you ask again for the code, I have to just hide you in this channel. Remember that is going to be the codes, guys. Just a quick time up on here, so be sure that you're doing, okay? All right, so you don't have to come back here and do any spam. Remember, I just put this, so you don't have even to assist to class. If you want the code, just come back when it's time, okay? Now, let's continue with it. Now, guys, we're gonna add a new function that is going to be timer here. And the timer is going to be round countdown timer, okay? That is going to be this first one, okay? Now, with this one, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna add the next functions, okay? We're gonna start a timer. So we need to react for a specific time. So what we're gonna do is that you're gonna create a new one, okay? For this one, just go to function library. Once more, select players private variable. And on here, you're gonna select players on trigger event, and you need to create this one, okay? And the name of this one is emoji city, okay? This is going to be a timer. It's going to be like the time that the player has to react again, okay? Now, apart from that, you're gonna create a new variable, okay? The variable name is going to be react cd, okay? And actually, this is a cd, it's the time that the reaction is going to be off for. So select that one, okay? And I just remember to put on here a false, okay? Once you close that, you're gonna move to here to variable library, and on here you're gonna search for value and you're gonna click on react, okay? So in here you're gonna put the amount of seconds that the react button is going to be completely off. In my end is gonna be 4, okay? 4 seconds on here it's going to be the time that the players cannot react. So we're gonna avoid the players to start spamming a lot of reactions, because that could happen, guys. And that is not going to be fair for the other players. So if you can spam the reactions every X time or every second, it's going to be very unfair, because a player will be able to feel other players' bar very quickly, okay? And now we're gonna move the next one. That is going to be that actually we tell the game, hey, the players cannot use more reactions for a little bit. Now, what we're gonna do for you is that we're gonna add the score that the players adds to you, okay? And I'm gonna move back to this, and remember this table that we got the score here, and the group that we create in the second class, we're gonna use it, okay? And how we gonna use it is that we gonna set up a variable, okay? So we're gonna move here, we're gonna add assigned in this one. In assigned, we're gonna select value setup, okay? When it's going to do value setup, guys, it's just going to give numbers, okay? So as the score is going to be a number, we're gonna move that. So what we're gonna do is to change a variable, okay? And this is very important, guys. Just a second. And we're gonna just add here one that is going to be called our score is full, okay? You need to create this variable. If you don't have it, try to use the same name that you're gonna with this you're gonna put confusions, okay? And also with this we're gonna use this to change the score of the players, okay? So we're gonna do this. Our score full, it's going to be a numerical calculation, okay? We are going to do some math here. So just go ahead, move here and select numeric calculations, okay? And on here, we're gonna choose two numbers, okay? The number that we're gonna use to multiply for the next number, okay? So we're gonna just click on here. You're gonna go to function library and just scroll down to numerical group. And in there, you have this function that says value ID in the value group, okay? And how it's going to work this is gonna allow us to choose any of those values inside our table, the one that we create our group, okay? So on the first one, we need to use the key. On here, we're gonna use a variable, okay? So just go to variable library and you're gonna create a new one, okay? The new one, it's going to be called, it's a private variable and it's going to be called emoji, okay? This is going to be different for each player, so select function library, go to player, go to player's private variable, and you're gonna have something like this, okay? So you just expand, on here select players and trigger event, and on here you have to create a variable. The variable is gonna be emoji, okay? And later we're gonna use it, so for now just create it, okay? Emoji is actually to handle which emoji we are doing. So remember, if we are going to do the emoji number one, we are going to give 6 of a score, and we are going to say the player that the player loves the other player's actions, okay? If we use the number 3, that is going to be the emoji 3, we're gonna give -2 points, and we're gonna say that we dislikes what the player is gonna do, okay? All right, so now we're gonna use emoji, all right? In the middle, you can use here an options, and you're gonna use multiply, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go to player private variable. We're gonna just do this like this. We're gonna go to players private variable, and you're gonna have also something like this. Just expand that, and we're gonna select players in trigger event, and we're gonna select our mirror score bonus, okay? So probably you don't have it, so you have to create it. And actually what we are doing here is that if we're gonna check if the player has any bonus, okay? Because you can modify this, if you can give a player to have more punctuation, if it picks up like something like, I don't know, like a power up or it gets a card, okay? Now that we got this, okay, we're gonna actually set up a variable too. So we're gonna copy and paste the one that we created, and we're gonna start to change this, okay? So this time we're gonna change this. We're gonna go to function library, and on here we're gonna move to player and player private variable, okay? That's going to be very important, guys. In player's private variable, we're gonna just select again once more another private variable because this is going to be the key. So just go ahead and function library, player, and you're gonna select player's private variable over here, okay? And when you expand this, you're gonna select the one that we just created. Remember that we create that one that says BTN target, so we're gonna use that one. That is going to be the button that the player press. And then we gonna use this one, probably this one you already have it. If you don't have it, create it. It's gonna be our method. That is going to be the awesome method, okay? The score of the player. So we're gonna use that one. So you're gonna use our method. And then you are going to close everything and you are going to move to the second, okay? So for the second, select function library. And function library, you're gonna select numeric calculation. Remember, we always, when we're gonna do math, we use math, of course. And most of the times we're gonna use this one. In the minicam, we haven't used this much. We only use only two others because this is going to be for making more advanced things. But this one, we're gonna use this one, okay? So we're gonna use numeric calculation once more. And on here we have more options, so we need to select again here in function library player, because remember this is a private variable, okay? So select private variable, and on here we're gonna choose once more, just like we did in the previous one, on here another time function library, and we're gonna select again player library, okay? And we're gonna use the same. We're gonna play players in trigger event button target, and in here we're gonna use our method as variable, okay? So remember, once more, select on here and our method, okay? So remember, this is the target, button target always is going to be the player who is going to receive the reaction, okay? And finally, we got on here an add, so just select add, okay? And then on the end, we're gonna use awesome mirror, awesome score full, okay? So just go scroll down and select our score full, and that's it, okay? So I'm going to do a pause here, guys. We're gonna give you the next code. So let me show and let me move to the code on here, this part, okay? So just scroll down and copy the next code, guys. I'm just gonna put it into the chat so you're gonna see it. And I'm going to give you 3 minutes to copy the code. Guys, if you have any questions, if you have anything that I need or that you need me to explain, just let me know, okay? All right, thank you so much. Player is telling me gran lección. That means a good lesson, and it's in English, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, guys, you have enough time to do it. And thank you so much, Alex, for explaining that. Axel, sorry. Yeah, we're gonna give the time on a specific time, okay? So right now it's 8 p.m., so we're gonna give the code, and the next code is going to be at 8:30, okay? So guys, remember, after copy this code, just come back at 8:30 and you're gonna have the code. All right, so while you're doing that, I'm going to take 2 minutes of break, guys, so see you in 2 minutes. Okay, so guys, all right, I hope you can copy the code that you are seeing in the screen right now. All right, I already give enough time for you to be able to copy the code. And now, just a friendly reminder, guys, avoid to be banned. What you're gonna see in the screen is the time I'm gonna give the codes. So remember, this is Vietnam time. So next time, if you want the code, just come back at 8:30. At that time, I'm gonna give the next code. Remember, the 8th one is already sent it, okay? All right, not a problem. I see here that you're telling me thank you, teacher. So you're more than welcome. It's a pleasure to give you those codes. And Basti Soriano says, YeyoCore, give me the moderator. I forgive Leishoy and a Japanese name. Yeah, don't worry. I'm probably going to give you moderator for the next class, but I need to train you better because I think you need to have or the full information about what you can do or when you're supposed not to do as a moderator. Also, thank you so much, Axel, as always, to help me out to moderate here. And Knight says, sorry for the inconvenience, but a lot of people keep asking for the code, so I have to explain to him. Don't worry. Thank you so much, Knight. Knight, do you want to come or become a moderator? If you want it, just let me know in the chat. And yeah, well, let's continue with the class, guys, okay? So we're working or currently under animations and the interactions. So we're going to move back to it, okay? Just a second here. And we were working on this one that is going to be the actual handle of the reaction bar, okay? Now that we're gonna add like the score and that we're gonna use, and also we add that score to the player, we're gonna send a couple of things more. First, we're gonna tell in the chat the players like, hey, this player likes this, okay? So like this, as an example, Basti Soriano loves Axel painting. So we're gonna do that, and also we're gonna send a personal text. So how we do this? We're gonna move and we're gonna create a new action. The action is going to be player group and display chat info to player group. Very important, don't use the player one because this is going to be shown only for a player. Instead, this one is going to be showed for all the players. So you're gonna move to that one. And once you are there, you're gonna choose on here all players, okay? A friendly reminder, we always use this, but if you haven't checked that or you didn't know how to do it, just go to player group and select all the players, okay? And the content for this one is going to be a string concatenation. So go to function library and select a string concatenation, okay? Once you select that one, you're gonna have two different spaces. The first one, we're gonna choose the player. So just go ahead and select function library, player, and player name, okay? And then we're not gonna select which player, so it's going to be the player in the event, the player that reacts, okay? Next, we're gonna tell the player with reaction, okay? So we're gonna need more concatenations, so we're gonna use function, string concatenation. Remember, string concatenation allows us to just stick together two different texts, okay? And when you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to expand this and you're gonna choose two different ones, okay? As you see, we are using a lot of string concatenations, but in the first one, we're gonna use this one again, we're gonna use this table again, okay? So that's why we create another table that is being called emoji text, okay? So this is going to have the reaction name, so we're gonna avoid to do a lot of triggers, so we only gonna use the group so to make things easier. So we're gonna add here, we're gonna go to function library and we're gonna go to string group. In a string group, we're gonna use select a string, okay? That's it. We're gonna not doing anything else. And on there, we're gonna choose a private variable, okay? So go to function library. Once more, you're gonna move to player and you're gonna select player private variable, okay? And when you are on there, you're gonna select emoji, okay? Remember, emoji is going to tell the game which emoji is using. So just go ahead, players and trigger event, and we're gonna use emoji, of course, and that's it. And now, very important, we're gonna choose which group. Remember that the group we using is being called emoji text, okay? Here we save all the database for the different reactions names. So we're gonna use emoji text here, okay? So remember, in this one, just select emoji. And on this one, just once more in variable, select emoji text. And that's it. With that, we tell, oh, I forgot a part extra. Sorry, I almost ended in the wrong way. So that's going to be just the first part. Okay, what happened here? All right, it's this one. Okay, so we're gonna have like that, this part. Now on here, we're gonna add another concatenation because we need to tell the game which player, okay? So we are going to tell first which player reacts, then reaction, and then to which players, okay? So we use another string concatenation, so function library, string concatenation. And when you add it, you're gonna just expand it and you're gonna have to put the next thing. So in the first one, you're gonna place the target player, okay? So you're gonna go here, function, player, and player name, okay? Player name will automatically get the player, but now we need to choose which player. So remember, the target always is going to be in a private variable. So what you're gonna do is to select here, and you're gonna go to players in trigger event, okay? And what you're gonna do here, and what you are going to change is going to be players or function library, and then you're gonna move to just players private variable, okay? It's easy, easy, lemon squeezy, just like we said before. And we're gonna have that here, and it's going to be battle target, okay? So remember, players in trigger event and btn target as always. Remember here, it's going to handle which player is going to have the reaction for it. And finally, just adds another string concatenation. I know there is a lot of string concatenations, but this is the easiest way. So select a string concatenation once more. And finally, on here, we just gonna add an S here. So remember, if you are in English, you can put an S. That means that it's the activity. But if you are in other language, you have to realize how to do this, because this is only going to work for English fine. And on here, we're gonna add again this thing that says function library. We're gonna use a string group ID. And this time we are not going to react to the emoji. This time we're gonna react to the activity. So remember, we got the activity. So this is actually what is going to happen, as an example, singing or dancing or just doing anything in the game. So we're gonna use that one, okay? So we're gonna use activity, and probably you got a problem like mine, that is that you cannot completely choose this one. So what you're gonna do is just click on the border, and in the border, you're gonna have all this information. So you're gonna select activity text, okay? We're gonna use that one. That's the one we use here, okay? Activity text. So select activity text, that one, okay? And we're gonna close it. And now we're already telling the game that the player reacts. Now we're gonna give the player the direct information. We're gonna say, hey, you have reacted to this, so use this. So how do you do that? Just add it here, a new one. We're gonna select player, and we're gonna select the one that says display text to a player, okay? Display text to a player is going to show a floating, so we're gonna use that. So in the first one, we're gonna go and select function library. Once more, it's like a normal thing here. Okay, so all right, another hit for the player, and we're gonna just click on there, okay? So we're gonna select player's private variable once more. As always, as you see, this requires a lot of private variables, and we're gonna select again players in trigger event and btn target, okay? So we're gonna show to the players that someone is reacted to him, and then we're gonna show the text, okay? So once more, we're gonna have a lot of string concatenations, so prepare yourselves. Select string concatenations on here. And once you are on string concatenations, you're gonna select first the player. This is going to be a little bit easier than the other, but it's going to be also a little bit complicated. So you're gonna select the player name here. Okay, so go ahead and select function library, select player and player name, that's it. And on here, once more, we're gonna select players in trigger event. All right. And we're gonna use another string concatenation. I know, guys, that you're probably gonna have a lot of string concatenations, but it's the easiest way to do it. With this, we avoid to make a lot of triggers. So select again string concatenation, and here you only need to put two things. As you see, it's simpler than the other one. We have also a lot of concatenations, but not that much as the previous one. And on here, just put reacts. Depending on your language, you're gonna use a different one. Reacts means reacts, literally, and 2 points. And now we're gonna say the reaction, okay? So to tell the player the reactions, once more, we have this table. Remember, this is going to automatically show this. We know having to do a trigger for each one. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna just add here a string group. So function, string group, and a string group here. All right. And in here, we're gonna select the string ID is, and once more, we're gonna get the reaction. Remember that the reaction is a private variable. So as always, go to pliers and pliers private variable. And under you're gonna select emoji, okay? Remember that we're gonna have an emoji. So we're gonna use that one. And on here, we're gonna use the table that is being called emoji text, okay? So once more, in our table, emoji text is this one. So we're gonna use whatever of these reactions, okay? And that's it for the reaction. Now the things that we come after this is going to be much easier. So what comes after that? We already tell the game, hey, this player reacts, these players do this. Now we're gonna make the players to have a turn off the availability to click on the reaction bar for a while, okay? So how do you gonna do that? We're gonna add an action here. We're gonna just scroll down and we're gonna do a countdown timer, okay? And the countdown timer, it's going to be a private timer, okay? Because every player is going to have their own reaction time, okay? So remember, you can use this as also for skills, okay, guys? So if you're gonna have a skill, as an example, you click on a button and the player shoots a power like a Kamehameha or a Henkidama or whatever you want to add here, or a Rasengan, you can use this thing too, okay? It works also for that one. It's like a time for creating CD and everything, okay? So what you're gonna do once more is that you're gonna click on here on operate, all right? And we're gonna have something that is being called a timer, a blinking time. So first, just go ahead, function library and players private variable. On there, you're gonna just have to select which one. And for this is very important. You need to go here to function library. You're gonna go to players private variable, and I correct myself. This is going to be just for doing animations, okay? Sorry for that, but you can do a timer also with this, okay? A countdown timer. And on here, you're gonna select players and trigger event, BTN target. Now, we're gonna use this one that says blinking timer. Okay, so probably you don't have this one. You have to create it, create a variable, and you're gonna call it blinking timer. And we're gonna use that later. You're gonna see it, but it's very useful. And we're gonna make the animation for 3 seconds, okay? And the repeated timer is going to be false. And we almost over here, okay? So now we're gonna use the next one. We're gonna set up a variable, okay? And the variable is going to be, just go ahead, assign and player setup. And in player setup, you're gonna use the next one. You're gonna select here, players private variable, players in trigger event. Once more, remember, we're gonna already know this, players in private variable, players event, BTN target to players in trigger event. Actually, I'm not sure if something is happening here. Oh yeah, it's okay. So this is going to clear up everything. So just in case the player reacts again, it's not going to react to the same player, okay? So we're gonna be sure that we're gonna clear this. We're gonna be sure that the players can, by mistake, not react to themselves again, okay? So just that one, okay? So we got finished this one. That was actually the hardest one because it's the one that handles everything. Now the things that come after this are going to be very easy, okay? So let's continue, and now we're gonna create a fail, okay? So if you see, the fail are going to be easier. It's just normal text explaining to the player, hey, actually you mess up, you cannot do this. So that's going to be much easier than the other, and we're not gonna have that amount. Probably we don't gonna have that amount of connections, okay? So we're gonna create first the one that says fail. So you're gonna create a trigger. The trigger name is going to be BTM fail. And what you're gonna do is to add the next actions, okay? First, in the event, you're gonna add players, and players obtain status effect, this one, okay? Sorry, it's that one. Now we're gonna click on this one, and we're gonna add an action, okay? The action you can copy from here, okay? You can just go ahead and copy this one, the first one that says the one is not players in trigger event. You go ahead and copy and paste it here. And that's it. We're gonna check that the players called BTN target is not going to say be the same that we are, okay? Sorry, it's going to be the same. So this is important, you need to change this to yes, okay? So notice that, okay? On this one, you have a no in the middle, but on this one, we're gonna use a yes, okay? So it's inverted, all right? And what we're gonna check if the player is reacting to itself. So if the player is reacting to itself, we're not gonna do anything, okay? Yes, and welcome Nuki. Yes, this is going to be the last class of this minicamp. At least for English, okay? Now, the other important thing here is that we're gonna add an action, okay? And the action is gonna be the same one that we create on here. So what you can do is just go ahead, scroll down, copy this one, the last one that we add on the OK option, and paste it again on bottom fail, okay? And then what we are gonna do is we are going to remove directly the event, okay? So you're gonna go to player and we're gonna just search for the one that says remove status effect. That is gonna be this one, okay? Remember, effect on here means actually status or buff. Know the effects for the visual effects, okay? And that's it. With this, we are going to remove, or we are going to activate those two, okay? So the player is going to be able to use again the reaction bar, because actually it reacts to nothing. Now, for the second one, you just go ahead and copy the first one. So you can go ahead and copy everything here, because it's going to be almost the same, okay? If you see here, it's actually the same, but we have some extra actions. So you just go ahead and copy and paste. What you're gonna do is that you're gonna remove for this one, you are going to keep everything like it is, but you're gonna remove the condition, and you're gonna go to this one, and this time you are not going to copy the first one, you're gonna copy the second one, okay? You're gonna copy and paste it, and on here you're gonna do the same, okay? So instead of having a no on here, you're gonna have a yes. Once more, this is inverted. So on here we have a no, on here we have a yes, okay? And you're gonna have to add some actions, okay? The first action is gonna show the players no target or need a target to aim, okay? So you're gonna do the next thing, you're gonna add an action, you're gonna go to players this time, not to group of players, just players, and you're gonna select display chat info, okay? On that, you're gonna show to the players in trigger event, you need a target aim, okay? So you are saying, hey, you need someone to react because you are reacting to actually nothing. Why? Because host also it's going to be no one. It works for both, for no one and also for the host of the room. So whenever the player is not reacting to someone, in the area where the player is reacting, there is no people, you're gonna use this also when it's reacting to the host, okay? Now we're gonna make also an effect and a sound, okay? So the first one, it's going to be the sound. You can go ahead to just scroll down, sound effect, and you're gonna select turn on effects on player. And the effect that we're gonna use, or the sound, sorry, is the next one, okay? I'm going to pause the music a little bit, just to be sure that you will be able to hear it. You can use this, as you see, it's a mark number 2, and it sounds like something it's not going well. So you can use this one. You can use, of course, whatever you want, but if you want to just save some time, you can use the same I'm using. And then we're gonna add an event, okay? But this one is going to be for the special effect. Just scroll down, select the special effect, guys. It's going to be easier. And just select play special effect in a position, okay? So most of the effects could be under the player, so sometimes that is not very clear. And what we're gonna do is just to use Mark 39, okay? So Mark 39, it's gonna be this one. Let me show you. On here I have to show you. because of course you cannot listen effects. 39. That is going to be this one, okay? For me, you can use whatever you want. You have also this one. You have a lot that looks like an error. I use this one. And the position I place it is one block ahead over the pliers, okay? So just go ahead, function, select location offset, original position doesn't change. And on there, just select event position. And the only thing that you need to do is to plus and the one in the middle. One means in the middle means one block ahead the plier. This means east, west. This means up and down. And this means north, south. Okay, so one on here means one block above the plier. Just keep the size on one. And what you're gonna do is that probably you have those as first. You need to move it to the end. Okay, so just by clicking moving and selecting like the same button, you're gonna see that it's going to move to the end. So you can use that one as well. So you're gonna be sure that those two conditions are going to be here at the end, okay? So as you see, it's the same one. You don't need to work on that one, okay? And with this, you will finish all the interactions, guys, okay? So remember, guys, this is going to be very important because those are going to be interactions, are going to be who manage everything, okay? But now we're gonna learn a couple of extra tricks. We're gonna do a couple of reactions and you are going to use then that to create your reactions, okay? Remember I have those 4 reactions for pliers and those for the host. You can create any kind of reactions. And remember, you can use this system to also make skills. You will be able to do a lot of things with this one, okay? All right, just a second. And all right, so now let's continue. I received like a message urgently, but it wasn't that important, so it's okay. And now we're gonna move, all right, and we're gonna switch to the next one, okay? So guys, now on the screen you're seeing like the different things that we already create. Remember that we create this one and we create actually the reaction bar, okay? So we are going to work with this at the end, but for now, we're gonna create the reaction bars, okay? So we're gonna add the reactions. I'm going to teach you 1 or 2 reactions, and you're gonna learn after that the others, okay? Because there is going to be a lot of reactions, guys, that you can add. As an example, you can add a reaction to, I don't know, to teleport the pliers. You can make a reaction for whatever you want, or you can use this one more as a skills, okay? So with this, you can use, when a player presses a button, the player is going to jump. If they press another, he's going to shoot a Rasengan or whatever you can actually do, okay? So you can use this for a lot of things, okay? Now, let's move ahead and let's continue. And we're gonna start with the reactions, okay? So remember this, we already created the interactions, that is the brain, and that actually executes the reactions and the text. Now we're gonna create the reactions. The reactions, once more, is going to have a folder in which we're gonna have the variable, we're gonna add the buff, we're gonna execute the feedback, and we're gonna set up the variables for this to work, okay? All right, so we're gonna create the new group. The name is reactions. Okay, let me put my phone in silent because for some reason it's sending me a lot of messages. And in reactions, we're gonna add the first reaction, okay? So the first reaction I got in my end is this one, okay? It's loves. Okay, that means that the max amount, when I like a lot something that the player is doing, I'm going to react with this one, okay? And truly sorry guys, I'm not interacting that much with the chat. At the end I will. What happened is that right now we don't have enough time and I want you to have everything ready for your mini camp, okay? So the first one I'm gonna to create is the love reaction, okay? So I just gonna put the name button. Remember guys, this stands for any kind of button. It's the the keyword that you can see in any game, any not just in MiniWord, and it's going to be easier for you to notice that you have a button. And then we have a love, okay? That is the name of the reaction. So this is going to be actually very easy to set up. We don't have that much, as you see, okay? Um, so the first thing that we gonna use is that we gonna create in here an event. The event is current interface button is released, okay? And the button that is going to be released, we need to actually check which button is it, okay? So for doing this, we gonna go ahead and we gonna add on here a new action, okay? And the action or the condition, sorry, is going to be determine the component, okay? So what happened is this, we're gonna have a lot of components here and we need to tell the game which one is the one that we're gonna interact with. So just keep everything on here like it is, just edit the end, okay? And in the end, you are going to move to template library and you have to search for your reaction button, okay? So once more, my reaction button is inside love and is the one that says button love. So I'm going to select that one. All right, and very important, remember that we create a timer that says timer CD. That is the one that actually checks if the player can react or not. We're gonna use that one, okay? So we're gonna avoid the players once more to spawn a lot of things. So how do you do that? Just add a new one. We're gonna move to tool and you're gonna select determine timer text, okay? In determine timer text, you're going to find a lot of options that you can use to actually tell the players or know the players timers, okay? So here we're also going to use a private variable. So you're going to have to go to function library and select players private variable. That's, remember, this is for just one player. And on here, we're going to use players in trigger event and we're going to use emoji CD, okay? Remember, that's going to be the time down for the players to actually know the CD, okay? And this one is going to be less or equals, okay? That's very important, guys. Don't use another, use less or equals to 0, okay? That means that this is only going to be executed if the players have enough time, okay? So I'm going to do a timing here and I'm gonna give you the last code. I hope you can copy and paste it, okay? And I'm gonna give you this code, okay? And also going to take a little bit of coffee. So guys, we're gonna have to continue. So after this, if you wanna ask me any question, just let me know, okay? Because we left a couple of things, but we're gonna use this time Weasley, because I know that reaction bar not only can help you out to make a reaction bar as we made, also will help you out to create another things, okay? Remember with this, we can do a lot of things. You can do skills, you can do a lot of things. So it's going to have, I think it's going to be very important. With this, you will be able to handle the user interface like a pro, like a pro creator. So you will be able to do a lot of things. Even you can do games on this. Okay, so let me also change the code in the top and all right, you're gonna have this code. I'm gonna give you like 3 minutes to relax, guys. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to tell me whatever you want. I don't know how it's the climate in your area. Huh? In my end, it's gonna be, actually today is a hot day. My house is not that hot. Actually, it's very cold, so that's why I'm using a jacket right now. But outside, I see that there is a lot of light, so I actually love it. After this, I'm going to take I'm going to go to walk outside because it's very cool. Right here is morning. I know, guys, in your end is night most of the times. All right. And yeah. What do you think, guys? Did you participate in the event about the bases or the arena? I got some of flyers of the minicamp that actually participate, so I want to show you some of their maps also. As this is going to be the last class, guys. And probably I'm not going to continue teaching. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying probably there is a big change, like 30% chances that will be my last minicamp, and also 70% chances that it's going to be next minicamp for us, okay? So I want to play with you if you can play with me, but probably yes, that's going to be my last minicamp. I'm not saying that the minicamp is gonna end, it's just mine, okay? But probably, okay? More possibilities, more chances that I continue teaching, but not sure about that yet, so we're gonna wait on that, okay? All right, we have 3 minutes, so let's continue with the last part of the class. I want you to learn this a lot, okay? And let me switch once more to the class. We were working currently on this one. And let's continue. Okay, so button love. Okay, we were like creating the conditions, guys, and check that the conditions for the other reactions are going to be just the same. With the only thing that changed here is the button. Okay, as you see, we have like for all of them, like the same conditions. The only thing that changed here is this part, the one that says button. That's gonna be the button for the interface. For everything else, it's going to be the same. And of course, you have to set up some variables, okay? So first, we're gonna tell the game which player it's going to react with, okay? And how do you do that? We're gonna do something simple. And probably for this, I'm going to need you to show me. And what we're gonna do is we're checking where the player is pointing. We are going to say something like, let me place the microphone here. Like, okay, player is pointing here, so we're gonna take this area and we're gonna growing up to check if there is a player around, and we're gonna set that to random player. So just follow my instructions to see that. Remember, with this, you can pick a lot of things, okay? So this is going to be an important actions. And once more, this is a player setup, so we're gonna move here. We're gonna select assign, and we're gonna select player setup, okay? On here, we're gonna have a lot of things once more. On here, a lot of private variables, so we're gonna go to function library, players, and we're gonna select players private variable, and just expand it and select btn target. So we're gonna select the target of our reactions, once more, players in trigger event. We're gonna expand this because we're gonna select the next function, okay? So this is going to be important. You're gonna select player group and you're gonna select random player in ID set, okay? That is gonna be very important. With this, we're gonna check the players in an area, all right? And on there, we're gonna have like this. So we're gonna select random players in, and on here, we're gonna have to select player group and players in an area, okay? So once more, we're gonna just check where the player is looking. When we got like the position where the player is looking, we're gonna make an area around and we're gonna select any players on this one, okay? So select all players in area, and in all players in area, we're gonna add another one that is going to be convert location in region. So that means that we're gonna make an area around and where the player is looking at, okay? And that's it. On here, we're gonna have all this. You only need to select the first one. And in the first one, you're gonna select function and you're gonna move to players, and you have one that says players sign, okay? That's going to literally give us the position where the player is looking for. And on there, you're gonna expand and you select players in trigger event. And this is the size of the area, okay? So if you have this point here, you're gonna select 2 blocks to the right and the left, 2 blocks to the front and the back, and 2 blocks up and down, okay? If that is too much for you, you can select a lesser number. As an example, to make it more accurate, you can select 1.5. That also is going to work fine, okay? But be sure that the number 2, it's most important because this is going to be more accurate, okay? The sites always keep it like 2 at least. And that's it. We're gonna set up that like that. With that, we're gonna have the player. I see that Madam Queen is here. So, hey, hi. Say hi to Madam Queen. How are you? Welcome to the streaming. Seems that you probably are on your streaming too. All right, so I'm gonna check your streaming a little bit later. Now, guys, we're gonna tell the game which is actually gonna be the player, who it's going to be the target. Now we're gonna tell the game which reaction is using the player, okay? So as the player says at the button knob, or press the button knob, we're gonna move back to our reaction bar, and you're gonna see here that at the beginning, the reaction 1 is loves, okay? So that's the reaction. Loves means 1, so we're gonna tell the game that. How we gonna do that? Just go ahead, select assign here, and you're gonna move to value setup. And in value setup, you're gonna have something like this. In the first square, we're gonna tell which variable we're gonna set up. So you're gonna select function library, player, and player's private variable, okay? And expand that, and you're gonna select the emoji, okay? We're gonna tell the game, hey, this is going to be the emoji that this player is using. And we're gonna set up as the number of the emoji, okay? So this one, once more, is the number one. Number one means loves, okay? So number one is loves. We're gonna use that one. All right. And once and more important one, we're gonna give the pen react. Remember that this buff actually is the one that desactivates or activates everything and make the player know that the UI is changing. So just go ahead in players and we're gonna obtain the effect, okay? Now you're gonna select players in trigger event and we're gonna add the one that we just created. Remember, we call it event react. We're gonna select Freeman false, and very important here, we're gonna select the react CD. Remember that we already create this variable, the value is 4. And right now this is going to work completely. What we left is that we can create some effects on the player, okay? So on right now it's working completely, but we're gonna give some feedback, okay? So as an example, we're gonna make the player do an emoticon. So go to to player, and in players you can add the one that says add a player an emoticon, okay? Once more, I already got it right here. Okay, once more, give me a second. Yes, so you have to select which one, okay? So as an example, in template library, you have a lot of things here. And you have a lot of things here. As an example, angry, cry, thinking, greeting, gratitude, stretch, victory. So I'm going to use, as gratitude has hearts on it, I'm going to use that one. And that's it. Probably by mistake of Miniware, you have a red color here. Don't worry about that. That's not going to do anything. And also you can add an effect. So when the player is doing this, just go to players. And on here, you're gonna just move ahead and you're gonna have, non-players in effects. You're gonna have a special effect on players, select that one. And you're gonna add to the players mark 28 or whatever reaction you want, okay? So I'm going to show you, okay, mark 28, if I'm not wrong. It's going to be that sound. Actually, I add it's actually a sound, sorry guys. Is the sound the one that you are listening to? It's the sound when the player reacts. Also, if you want to go deeper, that was a sound effect. Remember, the sound effect is players. But now you can also add a player effect, okay? So you can go ahead and select the special effect. As an example, as I gonna do actually a love reaction, you can go as an example to live. And on here you can search something that has some hertz on it, like this one. So when the player uses that effect, it's going to show that, okay? And that's it, okay? As you see here, we're gonna finish already this, but as you see here, we can use another, okay? So as an example in button like, all right, that is the same, is just you need to select button like here. You need to only change this, that is the number, so the reaction to, it's likes, okay? And you change the sound and also the emoji, okay? But as you see, it's the same. You can do the same for any of the reactions, okay? Now, for those that have time here, instead of using like selecting a player or anything like this, what you're gonna do is just to change the activity, okay? But you don't have to worry for that one. The way that you make it is you're gonna delete everything and you're just gonna select this one, okay? So you're gonna go to timer and you're gonna change the timer, okay? Change timer timing, and you select next activity timer and you do a numerical comparison, okay? You select also here timer timing and timer time, and you add 15 seconds or you reduce 15 seconds, but it's just like the same, okay? This is going to be 4 reactions. Now we're gonna finish this because right now it's not showing up. And we're gonna use this one that is going to be animations, okay? All right, so This is going to be the final part of the class, guys. I gonna have to extend a little bit, but we gonna do the animations of mirror, okay? So I'm gonna switch once more. I'm going to finish this as soon as possible, because, well, if I, as this is going to be the last class, I need you to have everything finished. So we're gonna have this, okay? We're gonna create a new trigger set that is going to be called animation, okay? An animation, we're gonna show first what the players are doing, that the players can see this. So it's going to be very easy. The first one is going to be usual. I'm going to be a little fast with this, guys. Remember that you can pause the video here. And we're gonna add the first condition, and it's that when the players enters the game, we're gonna use that one, okay? And we're gonna check if the player is the host. So just go ahead in here and select player, determine individual player. Okay, and we're gonna select players in trigger event. Yes, it's the host, okay? Once more, for host, I just select function and host, okay? And the actions is that first we gonna open for the players the current interface. So just select open interface. And then we gonna add a new action, okay? And the actions are going to be to hide or show the interface. So remember, the host is the player who managed all the games. So we're gonna add it. We're gonna go to here and we're gonna select this one that it says show components, okay? Display components. And what elements we gonna show, okay? On here, you are going to keep it everything like it is. So we're gonna select players in trigger event, but on here, we're gonna select the reaction, okay? So choose template library. And remember, you cannot see it on here, but I have two reactions hidden, the 5 seconds one and the 15 seconds one. So you're gonna select both of them, okay? As an example, on this one, I'm going to select the 15 seconds one, and then just copy and paste and show whatever reactions you're gonna show just for the host, okay? So as an example, the second one is the other one that is completely hidden here. That is going to be this one, okay? So I have those two hidden, remember, I have those two, so I'm going to select those two, okay? That's going to be the first one. Then you're gonna copy and paste. So select copy and paste. And you're gonna have something like this. And this is going to be for the players, so rename it. And you're gonna put you show, not for the host, okay? So remember, this is not going to be for the host. This is going to be for normal players. And the first thing that we're gonna do is that we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna select on here where it says no host, okay? So the previous one was something like this. Now we're gonna change it and we're gonna put no, okay? Players and trigger event is no like a host. Then we're gonna, actually we have something like this. We're gonna just remove it, okay? So you're gonna delete the two conditions that it has before, that there was those two on here. We're gonna delete it. And we're gonna add two new conditions, okay? Or two new actions. The first one is going to be a value. So select value, okay? And when you have the value, we're gonna select function, players, and players private variable. In players private variable, you're gonna select players in trigger event, our mirror, okay? So this is gonna be very important, and I'm gonna show you that. It's going to be the amount of pixels of the size, okay? So the current size of my var is 150 and the current scored, okay? I'm going to teach you that in a little bit, but I just do what I did here. Then copy here, okay? And paste. And we're gonna change this. So on this one, we're gonna move and we're gonna select a different one. We have our mirror here. We're gonna select our mirror bonus. All right, and we're gonna set up as number 1. Okay, that's it. Always remember here, if I put on variable, if I select our mirror here, score full, sorry, it's going to be 1. And if I select here our mirror, it's always going to start in 150, okay? So it's going to be the same, and our score bonus is always going to be 1 here, okay? So we're gonna be sure that this is always going to work, okay? Now, before continuing with the next, I want to show you something, okay? If I go here to the bar, to the back bar, remember we're gonna move back to this, okay? So to this one, the MP bar, it's going to have a size, okay? And the size is going to be 300, okay? Also for this one, the one that we have just above, it's going to be 150, okay? So remember, 150 is the one that we're gonna put over, okay? So if we got something like this, we're gonna have this one is going to be, okay, the size, it's going to be 150, and for this one is going to have the max amount that is 300, okay? Once more, you can see it here, 150 in dimensions, and for the one in the back is going to be 300, okay? And remember guys, this is going to be the same on here, okay? So our mirror is also going to have 150. It needs to be the same, okay? 150 is the half of all my bar, the half of 300, okay? It's just going to have to be the half, the middle. That's going to be very important, guys, because what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna set up the animator, okay? So the first thing is that we're gonna create this one, okay? This one is going to be named as our mirror animator, okay? And what we're gonna modify with this is this bar, okay? Remember, you can use this next or anytime to create your own bars, okay? All right, you can create a live bar or whatever you want like this. All right, so there is not gonna have an event, but it's going to have a condition. And the condition, guys, and this is gonna be very, and let me change, very important, guys, okay? This is going to be very important. The condition needs to be like this. Go ahead to tool, determine timer time, and it's gonna have another private variable here. So select player private variable right here. And you're gonna have something that says players in trigger event blinking timer, okay? So if you don't have it created, you can create this variable right here, but select blinking timer. And this needs to be greater, okay? So select here greater than 0, okay? Very important. This is only going to work if the timer, it's blinking timer is better than 0. So whenever we modify this, we're gonna animate our bar and it's going to change, okay? That's gonna be very important, guys. And now we're gonna set up some values here, okay? So be very careful with this. This is going to work for any bar, okay? But this is also going to have animation. So the first one is that we're gonna set up a value setup here, guys. So how do you do a value setup? Once more, assign value setup, okay? We're gonna work with numbers, okay? And we're gonna select on here function library, player, and we're gonna select player attribute variable. Just expand that one, and we're gonna select our method here, players in trigger event, our method. And probably it's the first time that we're using here this. We're gonna select maximum value here. And on here, what it's going to do this is just as simple. If we have something, we're gonna have two numbers, and what it's going to do is to choose the number that is bigger. So if we have 0 or 100, always is going to choose the bigger, okay? So that's why we are using this. So in the first value, we're gonna choose the actual value of the player, okay? So we're gonna select function library, okay? And we're gonna use players private variable. And in players private variable, we're gonna choose our method. In the second one, put 0, 0 means nothing. And on here, we're gonna select the max value, okay? We're gonna copy and paste this, and in the second one we're gonna do something very similar, okay? But these times we are going to use minimum value, okay? So we are going, in the first one we tell the game, okay? So if the player has less than 0, always make it 0. Now we're gonna tell the game if the players have more than the max, always make it the max. So it's going to always be in between 0 and the max value is not going to be bigger or lesser than that. So we're gonna do the same, and we're gonna expand here, and you're gonna see that it's all the same, but in here the number that changes this one. So we have 300 this time on this one, and this time we're gonna select, instead of max, we're gonna select minus, minimal value, okay? Now we're gonna do the animation actually, okay? And what we're gonna do here is that the color is going to change to random. So it's going to like blinking and it's going to change the color. So guys, how we do that? We're gonna add here interface, and we got this one that says change component color, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose which component. So we're gonna select a template library, okay? And on here we're gonna use the bar, okay? The bar that is in the middle, that is this one, okay? So in our example here, we're gonna use the fill bar, the one that goes in the middle, okay? We're gonna change the color for this one. All right, so we're gonna choose that one. And here comes the trick. To give a random color, you use a function. The function library is a random color, and that's it. With that, is going to have a different color every time that changes. It's going to like blink, okay? So as this is going to execute every 1 second, it's blinking a lot. I'm going to teach you how to do that in a little bit. All right, now here comes the part, okay? Now it comes the trick. How we gonna make to be able to change this whatever size? So as an example, if I have 150, it's going to be like this. If my fill bar is equals to, as an example, I don't know, 300, it's going to be filled, all right? And if I have, I don't know, like 200, okay, like 200 here, it's going to be like this, okay? How we gonna do that? We're gonna use the next thing for that, okay? And what we are going to do is we're gonna add a new one. We're gonna go to interface, and on here there is one that says the sides, okay? So we're gonna look for that, and is the one that says, where is it? Okay, position no, text no, image content, rotate, change the color, modify the size. Okay, I'm a little bit loose. Where is that one? Okay, is this one. Set the size of an image button. We're gonna select this one, okay? And what we're gonna do is the next thing. First, we need to select which player we're gonna do it. We're gonna select the component once more. In my end is the one that is the fill bar, so it's the one that is inside. Remember once more the example, we have like the different ones. We're gonna use this one, okay? The one that we want to change the size for. So we're gonna select that one. And we're gonna select current edit interface, okay? So this is important thing. We have here two different variables, okay? So the first one, it's going to be the size. And the second one is going to be the width, okay? So we're gonna keep the same size, the same altitude, the same height, but we change the width. So we're gonna change only this, okay? So how we gonna do that, okay? And sorry guys that I didn't answer the chat yet, is because I'm focused here. So we're gonna select function library, and we're gonna select on here the one that says player, and we're gonna select player private variable, okay? And we're gonna change this for the hour meter, okay? So remember the hour meter, this variable, it's going to be in between 0 and 300, okay? And we're gonna use that, okay? So remember once more, if we have 0 on the fill bar, the size is going to be 0, okay? If we have, as an example, 300, okay? 300, this is going to be from the same way that the fill bar. And if we have 150, all right, we're gonna have just the half of the size, okay? So this is very important. If your full bar is 100, this needs to be equals at max the size of that, okay? So try to use the same size I'm using and just keep the same size, okay? So remember this number is 30. Once more, I'm just going to go back here so it's going to be clear for you. And check this, okay? So if we have 150 is on the half. If we have on here 300, it's going to be filled. If we have 0, it's going to be completely deleted. So we're gonna use 150 at the beginning. That is just going to be the middle. And this number, we never gonna change it, okay? And once more, this is just the same on here. We have the size here, okay? And that's it. That's how you change the bar. So remember, this is going to work for any bar that you make it. Try to make it the size of 300 always to make it work. And that's it. Right now, your bar is going to change and it's going to be animated. However, I want to create something extra, and it's also the pliers that are not or are not connected are going to have this. Sorry, the pliers that are not actually the main plier needs to see this. So how do you make this? We made another animation for them, okay? So the way that we do it is that we're gonna create a text box first out of the pliers. So just go to here, display information, create display information on plier, okay? And the first one you're gonna create is a text box. So selecting function text box, and you're gonna expand it, and you're gonna play awesomeness, you're gonna place 10. And remember, this ID needs to be always the same, okay? Select a dove and select the distance. You can copy my values, are going to be very helpful, are going to be the same. Then you're gonna copy and paste, and you're gonna put the second, but this time on this one, you're gonna select progress bar on the top, okay? And the progress bar has this setup, okay? One more, we're gonna use 300. Here, we're gonna use just the same information. Remember, we have 300 in here. This is going to be the max value, okay? And we're gonna do the same, okay? And here, we're gonna choose function, pliers, and private variable, and we're gonna put the number, it's going to be our meter, all right? And the max value, 300, the current value, it's the value that you have here, and the color, just select the same that we made before, select random color, and also select number 1, okay? Also for those, copy the values, Adobe, and 110. That's it. With this, we have the progress bar. What we're gonna do is that after some seconds, we're gonna delete it. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna just go here, we're gonna go to timer, and we're gonna add a waiting timer. And very important, guys, put the same value I put here, is 0.08 right here, all right? And what you're gonna expect with this is that the next action is going to happen after that. And the next actions are going to be very easy, guys. We're gonna delete that, so that number is not going to be over the pliers all the time. So for this, what you have to do is just going to delete display information on plier. And at the beginning, you select once more on here, you're gonna select text box of progress bar, and you're gonna select the number 1, okay? And you're gonna copy and paste it. And in the second one, you're gonna put a text box, okay? And we're gonna have the trigger, but now check this, guys. We don't have an event. For this, we just need to create a new trigger, put the name of our method, and just put the 2 different things. The first one is the action. The action is worth game time rainer, and check the time, guys. The time I'm using is very low. It's 0.01. That's going to execute a lot of times. And then the action is going to have to be for all the players. So this is going to be player group, operate trigger on a trigger set, and select our summes method, the one that we just created, for all the players, and check the conditions. This is important, needs to be true. And with that, you're gonna have something animated, okay, guys? So this is going to be very important. I'm gonna show you, and I'm going to turn off some features here, just to be sure that you're gonna see it, okay, to be able to react to myself. And I'm going to show you that in our room, okay? So, a second here. We're gonna host this game. A moment, a minute, please. Okay, MiniWord, what happened? It's completely stuck, okay? So now I'm going to read the chat. I'm just going to show you the demonstration about what we made with this. All right, for those that are waiting for the code is pinning in the top. Okay, perfect, MiniWord. What is happening with you, MiniWord? Okay, no, I almost closed it, but it was not needed. All right, so I'm going to create this room, and I'm going to access from my cell phone, guys, to be able to show you, okay? I'm just using MiniWord to access, okay, yeah, to access there. All right, so I'm going to reduce the volume here. All right, a minute. Okay, I'm going to use my cell phone to access with my another account. I have a lot of accounts, guys. Okay, to show you how it works. Let me give me a second here. Okay, it's taking a lot of time to access. I don't want to participate. Just a minute. Okay, I see my room here. No way, I cannot see my room for some reason. Okay, yeah, I see it. I'm gonna put the password. Okay, it seems that there is a crazy man outside. All right, so we're gonna enter the room, as you see here, and check this, okay? So the first thing that I made, let's start the game. Okay, here I'm going to close this, but okay, I'm gonna move the other player. Okay, as an example, I'm going to use the player to react. I need you to check this part, okay? Check right here, check the top. When the player reacts to me, as you see, it's going to do an expression, and this is going to change. As you see, it's going to be increased, okay? And as you see, it's going to be with colors, okay? And also, if I react to the player like this, okay, let's change this. I'm going to use this one. You see that the player is going to have on here the animation too, okay? As an example, if I do this, you're gonna hear the sound, and also it's going to change that. And as you see, are going to have like different reactions here, okay? And it's just for you to show you how it works, okay? All right, so that will be it, guys. Now I can tell you the minicamp is over. We already finished everything. I'm sorry, I have to take half hour more because we were a little bit late with it. I actually think that the 2 hours are needed for this minicamp, but we left the time now less, okay? So very important, guys, we already give the codes. If you forgot to copy any codes, remember that the timing was this, the one that you're gonna see in the screen. So if you forgot the codes, I'm going to do a quick paste and copy, okay? So remember, this is going to be the first code. Once more, for those that left, gonna put the second one, and I'm gonna put the third one here. So you're gonna have all the codes. My name is Jesue in the real life, okay? So my Yeyo is actual real name is Jesue. For those that are coming, now let me read you in the chat because, guys, sorry for this, but I have to forget completely of the chat due to the reason, okay? So welcome Suba, welcome Happy Knee, welcome Kyung, Who else is right here? Welcome, Basi, and thank you so much for sending me some news about who I have to put in timeout. And I hope you learned a lot with this one. Once more, guys, the announcement is that probably I will have to, probably not sure, guys, okay? This is only 70%, 30% chances that I'm not going to continue in the minicamp, okay? At least for the English one. So it may be 30% of chances that I'm not going to continue. That doesn't mean that the minicamp is going to be over. Once more, it's only 30%. Still 70% of chances that I'm going to continue giving you the class. In case I don't do it, don't worry, MiniWord is going to find another teacher to cover this part, okay? But remember, it's only going to be 30%, okay? So not sure about that. Now, guys, as this is probably the last time I'm going to see you or I'm going to teach you, I want to play with you some awesome games, okay? So try to join. If you can join, it will be awesome. I'm going to show you some maps that are participating in the event right now. So let's do this. I'm going to open the event, guys. And remember, this is an event that is going to end very closely. And it's this one that is going to be mini arena, okay? So very highly recommended. Try to vote for this one. Try to give a punctuation for this one, guys. Oh, I was forgetting something. All right, before show you this, I'm gonna show you how to submit your map into the minicamp, okay? So if you want to submit your map, just click on here, minicamp. You're gonna go to the last one. And on here, you have an option that says submit, okay? So on here, you have to fill your information like this one. And then you have to select a description and you have to select the cover for your map. Remember, you can choose wherever, as an example, you can choose this one. And you can upload also some like screenshots for this one, like this. And you have to choose a teacher. You can choose me, you can choose Nanda, Jahira, Queen, wherever. And also on here, you have, if you have an option, if you submit your map, you will have an option to select the last map that you submit. So you have to choose that one and click on submit. With that, you're gonna participate into the minicamp, okay? But now moving to the easy part, you're gonna see that this event, Mini Arena, is in the final vote, okay? So there are a lot of players that you can vote with, players from the minicamp. You can see that as an example, Almond Kinsins from the minicamp. I'm sorry, guys, if you aren't here and I don't know, just let me know. Capitan Word is also from the minicamp. Santana-kun is also from the minicamp. AC Pokemon, it's also from the minicamp. So, and who else? M. Ways also is from the minicamp. So in case you have to vote for any map. There is no code on the Fortnite. Okay, so as an example, you're gonna put on Time Runners. All right. And you can vote here, you can give a like, you can search for those maps. As an example, already I got it right here, okay? I'm just gonna show you, it's the same map and you can play it, okay? And you can actually vote for those. So I highly recommend it to vote. All right, and I'm gonna show you with a quick play, okay? If you want to play with me, probably I'm not going to be able because this streaming has taken a lot of time, but it's just a map that you can vote for. Remember, there is a lot of maps. Try to support your partners or the people that you want or do you like the maps for. So remember that with that, you will be able to play with it, okay? And as you see, this is like a competition that you can use just to play. As an example, you have like different skills. I become invisible as an example on this one, and as you see, it's a parkour PvP, so you can have like different items that protect you that you can use to take advantage of the other players. Oh, okay, I fall down. And yeah, it's like a quick map that you can show up, okay? Okay, no, I fall again. Okay, I almost died here. So try to check those maps, guys, okay? I'm just showing you one because I don't have more time for the streaming. I think we're gonna take a lot of times for this. But yeah, it's like a race game that you can use for parkour. Alright. And you have like a lot of things that you can do for this one to compete with other players. Alright. And as you see, we have a lot of things that we can make here. We have a speed. Alright. And yeah, guys, yeah, I'm going to end it right here. I just wanted to show you that map. I really think there are some awesome maps, but I just won't be able to show you one, okay? Alright, so once more, let's take a quick look here. Alright, I'm going to finish just one round more, but yeah, this can be played in multiplayer. And yeah, you can complete in one with this, okay? Alright, so that will be it for now, guys. Thank you so much for assisting to the minicamp. And remember, if you have questions, just write me into the Discord